Right, day 2, China, Yunnan, motorcycle tour. Let's go. Ooh, alluring. We started in Zhenshui, headed out to the National Road South, and went south. Eventually arriving in Yuan for a bit of lunch. We headed east then, and then south into the mountains on the most noodly, spaghetti-y, twisty, windy mountain road you ever seen in your whole life. It was a lot of fun. We ended the day in a small village by the fabled rice terraces of southern Yunnan. Today's sticker was placed atop the lid, and the reason for that is we were meant to have one sticker for each rider, but a bunch of them ducked out because of COVID, and the only one left was my good self there and Big Heath. While I was waiting for him, I caressed these pair of bulbous objects with a spandangly thing in the middle. Whatever could it... It's an elephant, you dirty beggar! I packed my bike and took the present that Ethan had given me, a little Chinese New Year decoration, and attached it to his bike in the place that I could find where it would flap around and be most irritating. Then I tucked it away so he wouldn't notice for it to come loose later. Jar got on with the more serious business of actually making sure our bikes were roadworthy. Big Heath turned up, and we were ready for the off. As I said in the day 1 video, Zhenshui is a place with a bunch of interesting buildings, like this city gate. And we went past Tiananmen Square again, so named before the more well-known one in Beijing, and we headed out of town. Note the large number of 3-wheeled vehicles. They were all over the ruddy shop. Here's one, look, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, they're everywhere. I guess they're very utilitarian. There's one shaped like a car. Reliant Robin, modern version of. Anyway, we got out of town, but that didn't mean we'd escaped the traffic. Here, any old vehicle that's moving slowly can slow things down to a grind, almost a halt. It's a 3-wheeler! I thought it was those red trucks, but it's a rickety old 3-wheeler. There they are, look. The red lorries weren't helping out that much, and here's possibly one of the most ridiculous blind bend manoeuvres you've ever seen. Jar, the leader there, being an absolute legend who's ridden pretty much to every corner of the earth, decided to do a manoeuvre, and I, like an idiot, followed him blindly through sheer faith, which of course is not what you should do at home, kids. Anyway, after stopping for a leg stretch and figuring out that I'd neglected to hand in my hotel key, we were off. A little bit moist on this day, but beautiful sights nonetheless. I was having a bit of a fogging issue with my visor, which got a lot worse when we rode headfirst into a ruddy cloud. It was okay, because it'd be over in a minute, wouldn't it? No! We were riding in this for hours, so eventually we had to pull over and put our rain gear on. We climbed up into the mountains and got a sense of what the amazing view could be, but it was only the odd break in the cloud that allowed us to actually see it. The next leg stretching break gave us an opportunity to see something. Here it is, the Honghe River. This is the river that we would be seeing frequently during our trip, as we spent a couple of days riding along it. You can see the soil here is quite red, and after a heavy downpour or storm, the river runs deep red. That's probably where it got its name. Its name, Honghe, meaning Red River. That bridge looked extremely interesting, and I was very much looking forward to riding over it. But before we did that, we found a spot to pull over and get some hot water so that we could fix a coffee. Our leader and tour guide extraordinaire, Jar, pulled over because he'd organised some Yunnan coffee for us to have. Jolly delicious it was too. Yunnan is famous for its coffee, and very lovely, subtle tones of coffee beans and all that. Enjoyed it. Perhaps you should try some Yunnan coffee. What? Oh yes, we never actually traversed the bridge, but we did manage to go down a winding pass which dropped us down to the riverside, and it wound its way down pretty much underneath or next to the bridge, so we got some interesting views of it. And riding by the river was pretty pleasant. Long sweeping bends and a lot of constant radius bends like this one, where you can just lean in at the start and then you just hold that angle all the way through. Kind of gives a strong essence and feel of flowing smoothly. Very nice. We crossed the river on a lovely bridge and found this geezer who'd pulled over for a cigarette break in the middle of the junction, which, seems reasonable. Now, each day we were riding easily enough to make it worth filling up, so you'll see a few moments like this where we're having a chat and killing time while Jar deals with the necessities of paying. And then we're in Yuan now, so we're just finding the restaurant. Hopefully no issues here. Nipped up the curb, no problems whatsoever, and then for some reason fell over this yellow line and dropped my bike. But Ethan couldn't care a single iota and didn't bother to pull out a camera and film me. So I wrestled the bike back upright and pretended it never happened. Local delicacy of red rice. Didn't look that red to me, but it filled a hole and we were away. There you can see Ethan's decorations dangling away in the wind. I was pretty happy with that. Heading east now, down the river, eventually to take a turn southwards up into the mountains. Still being pretty lucky with the weather. Yesterday's foggy nightmare is fading into distant memory, and we're enjoying these bends and twists on this well-surfaced but somewhat narrow mountain road. Some lovely views were had, and I even got a bit confident to use some of that 90 brake horsepower in the CF Moto 800 MT that I'm riding. The bike that shares an engine with the KTM 790 Adventures. Pretty powerful, much more than I'm used to. And a veritable perfect tool for navigating these challenging mountain roads. Stopped for a little leg stretch in a lovely spot. Ethan took a cracking photo of Jar in awe of a tree. Look at him. Oh, tree, lovely. And we were off again, having a great time, chatting away, and through some brief periods there was no chatter because we were pushing the bikes a little bit and having to concentrate, and that was fun as well. And later on that day, our old friend Mr. Cloud and random pedestrian combined turned up, which is kind of interesting because this bike tour is planned to take in spectacular views and sights. And as you can see, we struggled with that a little. But riding on a somewhat unfamiliar bike through slippery roads and clouds that kept everything moist with low visibility, that was a challenge in itself. And it's something neither Ethan or I have done. But we meant the Honghe 4-element viewing platform. The world-renowned rice paddies here are a tourist attraction in themselves. Here, river, sun, clouds, mountains combine to make a micro ecosystem, and look at it. Oh, beautiful. What a view. Stir your soul, that one. Oh, really make you think differently about life, wouldn't it, that view? But despite missing what some people might consider the key ingredient of this area, the beautiful, wonderful views, we were having a great time, and eventually found our hotel for the night. I'm not sure why exactly, but there was something about it that said ski chalet to me. Maybe coming out of the cold and into a more open plan place. Yeah. It was nice. Checked out the room, and on the odd occasion Ethan and I share a room on these trips, so a little concerned over the yeah, was I meant to have a bath in front of Ethan and a double bed? I was honestly getting a little bit concerned. Pushed those fears to the back of my mind and had a look out the window. Right, interesting things going on. Wonder what else is on. Let's change the channel. Oh, look at this show! Woohoo! Spicy. There was absolutely nothing to see of the rice paddies, which is why we were here, but there was some coals roasting a bit of tofu. So we sat down with Jar and got involved with this local Yunnan delicacy. I don't know if it's a delicacy, it's just pretty standard fare. Lovely meal there of a bit of kung pao chicken, some potato frittata, some whatever that is, omelette, and some beef and onions. Classics. Couple of beer lows, and we were done for the night. Time to relax and get off to bed. Oh, spicy. Join me for day 3. We'll have a right laugh.